The world of Ice and Fire has some very confusing concepts, but one that I see a lot of fans asking about is how certain laws actually work, and more specifically, how the hierarchy and succession laws of Westeros are governed. How are the next lords and ladies chosen, and how do they fit in the overarching power structure in the world? This is the hierarchy and succession laws of Westeros in a nutshell. The Iron Throne follows a feudal monarchy, much like medieval England, with a king ruling over 7 kingdoms. The North, the Riverlands, the Vale, the Westerlands, the Reach, the Crown Lands, the Stormlands, Dawn, and the Iron Islands, each with high lords ruling over these lands in the king's name. Feudalism is a system that in short means people are given land and protection by people higher up than them, like lords or the king. In return they would work and fight for them. Westeros follows a similar structure which can be represented by a triangle. At the top of society is the king, and also I'm going to include the royal family, who have the ultimate power over everyone. They can make any laws and decisions as they see fit and govern all 7 kingdoms. They live in the Red Keep in King's Landing, which is in the Crown Lands. Next up on the social ladder are the nobility or high lords. These are lords who are direct vassals of the king, like the Starks, Lannisters, Tyrells, Tullys, etc. You get the idea. Essentially the lords of each region. They have control over large areas of land in the king's name, each having different cultures and customs. Now I'm also going to include the small council in this section, mainly because although they don't hold as much power as the High Lords, they are very influential in that they help govern the country with the king. The small council is traditionally made up of 7 members, chosen by either the king or the hand of the king. The 7 members each have their own roles and responsibilities, these being the hand of the king, who is the king's chief advisor, who rules in his stead, the Grand Maester, who is a representative of the Citadel and advises the king on matters of governance. The Master of Coin is the head of the royal treasury and finances of the realm. The Master of Laws is an expert on and advises the king involving matters of law. The Master of Ships is the head of the Royal Navy. The Master of Whisperers is the king's spymaster, who gathers information and controls espionage. And finally is the Lord Commander of the King's Guard, who traditionally has a seat on the small council. However, Robert Baratheon denied Sir Barristan Selmy his seat because of his Targaryen loyalty. Below the nobility are the minor nobility, which are lesser lords and landed knights, lords who owe fealty to the High Lords. They have some power over the land they control, but don't usually have much to do beyond their lord's land. For example, the Umbers, who are bannermen of the Starks, usually only deal in matters that involve the North, but they do occasionally have dealings beyond that. Landed knights are knights who have been rewarded for their service in the form of land, typically a small holding, farm or manor. And finally, at the very bottom of society are the small folk, ordinary people who work for their lord and rely on them for protection. They make up the vast majority of the population of Westeros and are undoubtedly the poorest of society. Each of these levels of society provide for the level above them in the form of work, taxes or levies, and each level is given something in return, usually protection, peace, or land. The succession of Westeros follows cognatic primogeniture, where a lord's eldest son is his heir, followed by a second son, third son, and so on. When the line of succession reaches the lord's youngest son, it then makes the lord's eldest daughter next in line, followed by their sisters in birth order. Although Westeros succession laws are male preference, a lord's daughter will inherit before a lord's brother. For example, if say Ned Stark had only one child, Sansa Stark, his titles would pass to her before it passed to his brother Benjen Stark. The only place where inheritance is different in the 7 kingdoms is in Dawn, where the line of succession is solely based on the eldest trueborn child. It's possible for a daughter to inherit before a son, as long as the daughter is older. In the case of a female inheriting, then their name will be passed to their children instead of their father's name. This is known as a matrilineal marriage. When a lord dies and has no clear heir, then his widow can presume his titles. We see this happen with Lady Danella Hornwood in the 2nd book, who Ramsay forcibly married in order to take her lands. One area of succession we are unsure about is legitimized bastards. It's unsure if when a bastard is legitimized, if they are placed at the end of the line of succession of a lord's children, which would be after the lord's youngest daughter, regardless of age, or if they are put where they would ordinarily be if they were trueborn. When Stannis offers to legitimize Jon and make him Lord of Winterfell, it seems that he would skip Sansa and Arya in the line of succession, but this could be because they were believed to be held captive. Succession rights can be lost as well, either by choice or by force. Someone can choose to remove themselves from the line of succession. An example would be Prince Duncan Targaryen, who renounced his claim to the throne to marry Jenny of Oldstones. Succession rights are also lost when someone joins a sacred order, for example the Night's Watch, Kingsguard, Silent Sisters, or if they become a Septon or Maester. Succession and hierarchy can be confusing in both the real world for readers trying to understand it, and in the fictional world, with characters trying to sort out theirs, but I hope this video helped to try and shine a light on it and help better your understanding, if only slightly. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye now.